This video is part 2, my follow-up video to the 6th-month check-in on the British Airways Club, the revamped club. You can check out the first video here, where I go over some of the pros, some of the cons, and what's really happened. I did get a bit of feedback about what my status was in terms of silver or gold and how many points I had amassed. And after all, some people still are interested in attaining status. So what I'm going to do today is do a quick comparison of how my stop using the prefix my previous bookings had under the old regime, what I've got under the new regime, and if I'm going to make gold this year or not. And then at the end, I'll give you a nice little strategy to get silver relatively easily. Okay, so let's get this show on the road. When British Airways pulled the rug from underneath the executive club feet, if that works, I had 2 holidays booked. So let's quickly establish, remember the old regime. There was 6. I just go straight to silver and gold, and we can skip bronze and all that. All right, fine, I'll tell you. So bronze was 300 points, 300 tier points. Silver was 600 tier points, and gold was 1,500 tier points that you needed to attain to go up the various thresholds. Your tier points were awarded on the basis of the cabin that you flew in and the distance. There were quite a few different permutations. I won't go into all of the individual price brackets, but it was more of an incentive to fly premium economy, business, or first, as you got a ton more tier points. This was, of course, at the time when British Airways' more than generous double tier points offer had been in full swing for at least 2 years. As a reminder on that one, if you get triggered, please leave the room, and all that. But yes, if you booked a flight and a hotel package, so that was more than five nights or more, you would get double your ordinary tier points. This was absolute bonanza, certainly for plebeians like me who got to silver and were nowhere near gold. But not only that, people could get to silver usually within one nice holiday. Boom, you were straight there. So we all know stuff about the lounges getting busy and blah blah. We don't know. That's a story for another day. Because we're going to look at the differences between the old system, which is obviously gone, and the new system. The new system that BA announced as of the 1st of April was cash-based points, cash-based tier points. For every pound you spend, you would get a tier point. And they included some ridiculous levels. So 3,500 tier points or 3,500 spend, bronze, 7,500 is silver, and 20,000 for gold. That's a lot. That's a lot. Certainly, gold is just unattainable for many of us. The silver's still doable, I think. But let's get into the statistics on this. So, before the announcement in December 2024, I had 2 holidays booked, both utilizing double tier points. The first one was premium economy flights to Dubai. As a reminder, premium economy was worth 90 tier points under the old system. And the double tier points meant 90, 180, 360. So I had 360 tier points in the bank. So already into bronze territory. I'd also booked Atlanta. That was first class coming back. So that's 210 points. And premium economy again going over. So 90 points. So that was 300 points, 600 points. Bang. We're doing all right thus far, because we were at 960 tier points and we were just 2 months into what would have been the new year. Yes, that's it. Bronze has been bashed. Silver has been smashed. We're going for gold. The heat is on. Anyway, anyone remember Going for Gold? Henry Kelly? Classic. I had already mapped out, I'd already game planned the rest of the year, the rest of my membership year, to easily retain gold. I thought mainly European destinations, but a couple of those slightly longer ones in the old regime that actually gave me more tier points. So I was thinking of Sofia or Bucharest. For business class short haul, that would have been 80 points there, 80 points back, so 160 times 2 with the double tier points, 320. So we're then at 1,280 tier points. I had 2 options then to round out the year to retain gold, which is either another one of those mid-length flights in business to get another 320, or 2 short haul holidays in Europe. That would have been 40 on business, in 40 points there, 40 points back, 160. So that was fine. So it was all in the bag. It was all very comfortable. And then the announcement came. To all our loyal British Airways Executive Club customers, we have some news. We're changing to the club, and it's all for you. This plunged everyone into a melee of confusion. What's happening with my existing bookings? How are you going to transfer the existing tier points? Are you going to honour the double tier points? What's happening with lifetime achievement of points? Blah, de blah, de blah. It was absolute shambles. We all remember the trauma and tragedy of that day. Anyway, so the main thing was that those 2 existing bookings I had in the bag, and I hadn't booked anything else. So under the new regime, it was going to be interesting to see what happened. So slate is wiped clean 1st of April. Now, my initial booking, as I said to you, was Dubai. That was supposed to give me 360 tier points under the old regime. Under the new regime, I got 4,800 tier points. That comfortably got me through the bronze threshold and a chunk of the way to silver, and also a quarter of the way to gold. So I was excited. Next up was Atlanta, which included that all-important first-class flight to give me a bonanza of points. Well, for this one, the premium economy flight over got me 1,200 tier points. The first class flight back got me 2,800, so 4,000 in total. Double that, it was 8,000 tier points. That took my tally to 12,800 tier points, which in theory would be encouraging, perhaps, in theory, but because the system had changed, because the double tier points offer were no more, and because the threshold for gold was now 20,000, so I've easily gone through the silver's 7,500, but I'm at 20,000 and I'm 7,200 points or £7,200 short. Bearing in mind, obviously, I go on holiday with my other half, and those tier points are split. So realistically, we still needed to spend the best part of £15,000 in the course of the rest of 2025 and early 2026 to get to that figure. And I didn't think it couldn't be done. It couldn't be done, even though British Airways did bring in bonus tier points for certain bookings for example, 175 bonus tier points for flying in Club World, as an example. That was okay. That was a hint, but it was what it was. It's like, I'm not going to make it. So what I'm going to do is just choose some destinations that I would like to go to for the rest of the year. And screw it, I just can't get to gold. I can't get to gold. It's not going to happen. So I resigned myself to sticking as a silver member and instead changed my focus to racking up Avios and the companion voucher. Now, what has happened since then? Well, I gave the ghost up. British Airways did come after the disastrous rollout of the tier points tied to Amex cards. After that shenanigan, they offered me another 500 tier points, which was fine. And in terms of the other holidays I have booked, Bucharest netted me a grand total of 1,004 tier points. We have Madeira, which will give us an estimated 1,553 tier points. And finally, Valencia, which will net us 937 points. So to save you getting the calculator out, to save you doing the maths, I've got to get that little hamster in my head powering on. So that will give me a grand total of 16,794 tier points, which sounds good, but it's still 3,206 points or pounds short of the threshold. So I still ain't going to get to gold membership. There was a lifeline. There was a glimpse of hope. If you recall, British Airways did say that the Premium Plus Amex card could earn tier points. They announced that with the first launch back in December, and it took forever them to actually do it, and they didn't do it in time for launch, so that dragged on. In the meantime, I got one of those cards to try and get the companion voucher, which I did. And then once I just got to the point of triggering the companion voucher with the £15,000 spend, BA say, hey, guess what? You can get up to 2,500 tier points from the Amex card. You can do that. Brilliant. So the card that I've got and spent 15 grand on, I can get tier points for that. No, yeah, you can get tier points, but not on that spend. You've got to spend another £15,000 to get 750. Then you've got to spend £20,000 to get another 750, then you've got to spend £25,000 to get the 2,500, that final 1,000. So there you go. All you need to do now is spend 25 grand on top of the 15 grand you've already spent. So 40 grand. I was done. It's like, you screwed me over again. You screwed me over again. But the lifeline comes in that I'd had just referred my other half to the card, and she was at the very beginning. So we're there. They're nearly there. We've been very focused, but she's already got the first 750 points. She's got the second 750, I think, about to come. And by the time the offer ends in February, and fingers crossed they'll take it on to 2026, she should have the extra 1,000. So the 2,500 in total. So while I am languishing in the squalor of silver and I'll be stuck here forever, probably, she has the chance to get there. And indeed, that is why her total points is going to be, hopefully, 19,294, which is just £706 or points short of gold. That was brilliant. So we've just nearly hit that point. That leaves us a little time in February. Booked a nice little trip to Jersey, business class flights to get the bonus, and she is going to be gold. So I am more than happy, more than proud to say I will be pouncing off her. I will be the little plus one. Who's the little fellow with you? Yeah, that's my husband. Yeah, let him in, let him in. That will clearly be the last round we go, the last time we will be able to enjoy gold, and we will drop down to silver. And I think now that is the best strategy, and I'll talk about the strategy, which is if you can get a gold. And I'm not Martin Lewis, I'm not some kind of financial advisor, so check it out, read the stuff, do your due diligence, you know the stuff. So getting one of those cards, or two of you get one of those cards, earning, again, if they keep it, if they change that, I change that, then, we riot. Those 2,500 points are third of the way to silver membership. That's great. Put the additional spend on the card to get the 15,000 for the Amex, trigger that, and then you're only at £5,000, which I know is quite a lot of money. But if you are able to plan ahead for 2026 and book before December 2025, when those bonus tier points offer evaporates, then it won't be that hard to get to silver. So that's the strategy I think we will be using once the next cycle is complete. If you would be so generous as to click the little like button, even click the subscribe button if you so desire, that gives me a great boost. And if you want to see my most popular video, which is my full-on takedown of the changes to the Executive Club into the club, check it out. It's great.